Hey, it's a pregame show because you know what's going down. The Chicago Bulls face the Phoenix Suns at home. Can the Chicago Bulls withstand the offensive attack from the Phoenix Suns? Are they going to allow a role player to go off on them again? We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Listen, it's game day, so you already know what that means. We here live 3 times tonight. This is the first of 3 live streams tonight as Chicago Bulls face off against the Phoenix Suns. And this is a game that I'm actually excited about. After the Bulls and how they took care of the weak defense of the Utah Jazz in the last game, there's another game where they're facing a team that is not amazing defensively by any stretch of the imagination. So let's hope the Bulls are going to be able to take care of business. And if they are, then it could be a interesting night for the Chicago Bulls. So let's see. I am worried a little bit. Won't lie, just about the matchups in this game, especially the Phoenix Suns have a lot of players on their team that have murdered the Bulls before. A lot of role players that have had big nights against the Chicago Bulls, and so you worry about that always with the Bulls, right? We always allow role players, especially if they can shoot 3-pointers, to go off. You look at Eric Gordon, Grayson Allen, Josh Okogie, Yuta Watanabe. These are all players coming off the bench for the Suns that have absolutely murdered the Bulls coming off the bench in the last couple of years. So that's something that you really want to, watch out for in this game. The Bulls bench is one of the strongest aspects, I think, of this team so far in the season. So let's hope that they can, take care of business. But at the end of the day, it's something that we got to be alert on and we have to watch. We can't take for granted that the Chicago Bulls are going to not allow a role player to go off on them. So, that's something that we're definitely looking out for as well. We got Jack Holland in the building, says, like it up, people. Shout out to you for that one. Shay says, what good, Haize? Don't you find it funny how the Suns basically have the same record as us, but nobody's saying they should blow it up and they have 3 superstars? No, because that team just came together and they've been missing Bradley Beal for the whole season and Devin Booker for a lot. So that's a big part of it, Shay, is that team just came together. And you typically give a team that just came together a little bit of grace, right, to try to figure it out. But on top of that, they've had major injury concerns to 2 out of that main 3 players in that core. So I think it's a little bit different of a situation, especially when you're in the first year. I don't think anybody's going to call for the Suns to blow it up 7 games into their first season together. This is probably a game that Nikola Vucevic should go off. And don't get me wrong, Yusuf Nurkic ain't no punk, but he's not as talented as DeAndre Ayton was. Well, don't keep no mind about it. Like Yusuf Nurkic, when he's healthy, is one of the better centers in the league. The fact it sucks that he's not healthy consistently. So I'm not gonna say that this is just a foregone conclusion that Vooch should necessarily cook against Nurkic, but I mean, we'll see. I want to see us go to Vooch early, though. That's for sure. Establish the big man early. I feel that like Acme relied on continuity too much instead of actually getting players coached that can win together. Well, listen, the continuity was already here. The Bulls had no salary cap this season, so they went and improved on the margins, right? They improved in areas that this version of the team absolutely needed to improve in, with 3-point shooting, point of attack defense with Javon Carter and Torrey Craig. Now, I do think that and they said it last season, they really did think that Lonzo Ball was going to be able to come back until, they realized that was just not going to happen. And I think that kind of influenced heavily what the Chicago Bulls did in last offseason before this past summer. So, it is what it is. They have not rebounded well since the Lonzo Ball injury, and it's biting them in their ass. It is what it is. Okay, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and move right on that one. That's crazy. To be honest, the real reason why the starting lineup gets off to a slow start all the time is because they don't have enough defense, but just a lot of scoring. I kind of disagree on that, right? I think yes, we have a lot of scoring potentially, but I don't think it's just because of the lack of defense. I also think that the way that they're trying to play does not fit everybody on the roster. And we talked about it before as well. Kobe White and DeMar DeRozan, when they're on the court together, it's not good. What's up, my man? In your opinion, who will have the greatest defensive impact? KD on KD. Let's get this dub. See red. Ooh, that's a really good question. I mean, Torrey Craig's probably gonna guard KD. I would guess out of the starting lineup. You're probably gonna see some Alice Caruso on him. You're gonna see some Patrick Williams on him. Maybe even some Io DeSumo on him in stretches, right? So, but I think it's gonna really come down to Torrey Craig and Patrick Williams for the most part. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. What's up? What's going on, Daniel? Glad to have you in the building. Look forward to this game. Bulls need to come out and attack intelligently for a full 48. Completely agree with you. Completely agree with you. What's going on, Auntie? Glad to have you in the building. She says, I got the Shy Bulls winning. Let's hope that that's the case. P. Willie going for 50 piece tonight. My ninja called it. My G. Yeah, no, bro. TBO, you tripping, bro. You got to stop smoking that dope. What's good, Haize? Hope you're having a great day so far. Thank you, MC Season. I'm trying. I'm mostly okay. At least no Booker. Don't need a repeat of last year. Didn't he go off for 50 plus? Yeah, I think so. Hopefully Bulls can first 48 they ass like they did Jazz. Hey, let's hope so. Let's hope so. Yo, Hayes, I saw your video on Locked On Bulls podcast. Every day I feel like it's just going to be a situation where the Bulls will never win. Chip in the next 40 years, which is depressing. Big up. Listen, I mean, no, I wouldn't say that. Like I said, like we talked about before, it comes down to the most important aspect. If you want to build a championship team, is you have to draft well. That's the most important aspect. The most important thing, you have to draft well. Don't be surprised if Bradley Beal gets off to a slow start. That back injury is a motherfucker. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's definitely something to look out for as well. Is Bill playing? Yeah, Bill's playing tonight. Bradley Beal is playing tonight. It's just I don't get this team building. I get you don't believe that there are trickle-down effect in how basketball teams are run. By at the end of the day, I'd wish the organization would act like you didn't finish your comment there. They were the Chicago Bulls instead of the Charlotte Hornets. Is just crazy. Well, again, it doesn't come down to just you have to draft well. That's the most important thing. That's the thing that's hurt them the most is they haven't drafted well. What is the deal with AC and Paul? I think they both have already said that they're playing today. Am I wrong on that one? I don't see anything. Hey, give me your opinion. Why are there so many players injured in the season just started? The Bulls starting lineup has been playing defense. Offensively, they're not making plays and hitting shots. I mean, listen, it's a sport. Yeah, I mean, I always say in sports, no one's ever fully healthy after day one. That just is what it is. And so, I think also you are probably seeing teams use the fact that if a player has any type of legitimate injury, they're going to give them a couple days rest. Like you got to look at teams. Some teams aren't fighting for meaningless games in October and November aren't what a lot of teams are focused on. They're focused on having everybody healthy by March, April, and May. So I think that plays a part in it as well. Bulls for life in the building. What's going on, fam? Glad to have you in the building. I'm not sure how I feel about this game. Will KD, Bill, and Booker be playing tonight? Booker is not playing. KD and Bill are playing today. Zachary Moreo says, yo, what's up, my boy? Come out hype, riding the Jazz game. Listen, let's hope that the Bulls really, really come out and just realize the how they won that game. Like we said, the being intentional, moving the ball intentionally, right? Those type of things, like being intentional. If you can be intentional and come out with that and the defensive effort and energy that we saw, you're not going to shoot 50% from three every single game, right? You're not going to do that. That's they probably won't shoot that hot from 3-point range again in the season. But that doesn't mean you still can't be effective, right? And that's what the Bulls need to focus on. This is the type of the game we will win and lose Sunday, but I hope it be a good game. I'm not going to be able to watch the game because I'm at work. Well, first of all, you could download NBA TV on your phone, right? I'm just saying. I'm not telling you not to work, young fella, but I'm just saying there's always ways to watch a Bulls game. Always ways to watch a Bulls game. Why does the Bulls win when their head are on the line, then slack off as soon as the heat is off? I don't agree with that because I think the heat is constantly on this season for the Bulls. I don't think the Bulls have a situation where the heat isn't on the team. It came in the team. Vooch set the tone. This is probably the last go for this core. So I think the heat is on regardless. Shay says, did I hear right? Booker? Yeah, Devin Booker is not playing. He's still listed out in the injury report. Let me go back and look at it real quick. I don't think Bill's listed on there. Yeah, so the only two people on the Suns injury report are Devin Booker and Damian Lee. So Bradley Beal is a go today. Under Paxton in general, the scouting, drafting, player development was at an all-time high. Under Acme, it's at an all-time. No, I disagree with that. Under Paxton, the drafting was at an all-time high. Paxton drafted Kirk Heinrich, Ben Gordon, Luol Deng, Derrick Rose. Keep in mind, Gar Foreman did not draft Derrick Rose. Now, you do got to give Gar Foreman Taj, I believe, right? I think he drafted Taj and he drafted Jimmy Butler. But that's it. Like, even when it was Garpax when they drafted Chris Dunn and Laurie Markkinen, and not to say that those play like Laurie Markkinen, look at what he turned into, but they weren't drafting with a focus. They were just drafting, hoping something was going to stick. So, I mean, listen, Paxton, to me, like what he did in drafting wise, and the fact that he basically rebuilt the Bulls twice, and had both of them as solid perennial playoff teams, he gets all the respect from me in the world. But the moment moment Gar Foreman came in as GM, things started taking a turn down. So you got to look at that as well. Haize, how long are you giving P. Will to get to where the Bulls want him to, or do you trade him or just take the L and make him a bench player if you don't come? He's already a bench player. And I think that, again, I'm very understanding in the fact that not everybody develops at the same rate. And that's why I've been saying for a while now, I think P. Will needs a 3-year contract when this year's up. I would give P. Will a 3-year contract. It can be a 2+1, whatever. And at that time, 3 years, he'll be 25 years old. If he's still passive P 3 more years, at that point, you just got to realize it's not going to happen for him. What up, Haize? That would be a great win and huge morale boost for this early season. I'm eager to see how they come out. Yeah, I mean, listen, the Bulls got a lot of home cooking here coming up. Counting the last game, 7 out of the 8 right now. So 6 out of the next 7 games are in Chicago, and the one game that's away is in Milwaukee. It's still basically a slightly extended home game for them. So the Bulls need to use this opportunity to be home, be in their own beds, be able to get to their own facilities, get more practices in, because when teams are traveling a lot, they get some shoot-arounds. They don't really get full practices in. They need to take advantage of that and see what they can do, period. To quote Seth Rollins in Monday, we are never 100%, but we need to perform at 100%. That's actually a great damn quote. Shout out to Seth Rollins. I just realized that Torrey Craig will be playing against his old team. It's a lot. Torrey Craig has a lot of old teams. We already faced off against one of Torrey Craig's old teams too, I believe, right? I believe so. Come on, Billy, play Phillips on Durant at some point so we can see something. No, that what? No, you don't play a rookie against one of the best players in NBA history. What? You haven't played him all season, and now you want to throw him out there against Kevin Durant? Come on, bro. Well, I mean, listen, we've seen things like that before. As much like Jimmy Butler, his rookie season didn't play a lot, but then y'all remember Jimmy Butler got in on Carmelo Anthony one game in his rookie season, and that's when it was like, damn, that dude can guard. I almost said something that was going to be a pause. But yeah. I'm not looking for a win, but I'm looking for defensive effort and heart. That's from Bulls for life. I agree with you. I can see where you're coming from on that one. I'll take the dub, though. I'll take the dub. Do you think Billy will realize he's an NBA coach and will make timely subs and call out during droughts and to stop a run? I mean, honestly, I will say this, Reginald. Billy has been doing a much better job at timeouts for probably the last 3 games. Rotation was much better last game. He's shown signs of being able to understand rotations better. But the thing with Billy is you can never expect him to do it consistently, right? That's one of the big problems there. Under Paxton and Garpax early in their careers, why are you going to repeat the same thing that I already read? The Bulls are the only Chicago game I don't miss. I only see red. I love my Cubs, Bears, though. Listen, I'm a White Sox, Bears, and Bulls fan. I will root for the Cubs just because they're a Chicago team. But yeah. We found out what's wrong with Casual Kelder. He's a fucking Duke fan. Hey, Casual Kelder is just a special case in general. He's just a special case in general. Supporters going to send Robert McCall after you for those. That's hilarious. How do you feel about this game, Haize? Also, how many games do they need to win in this home stretch? Ideally, of course, all of them. But you know how inconsistent they are. I've said it. So if the Bulls, back when it was these next 7 games, if they can go, I want them to go 4-3. I'll take 3-4, right? That gets them close to 500. It's a tough stretch, but ideally, I would like to see the Bulls over the next 7 games go 4-3. Now, is that going to happen? We'll see, but that's what I would like to see happen. P. Will finna buy Donovan a pack of Trident gum to get back in the starting. I think that's funny is what you thought it was going to be, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think that's funny is what you. It's funny, but I don't think it's funny is what you thought it was going to be. They just rolled out Jamal Murray for the rest of November. Wow, yeah, that happened a couple of hours ago. That is surprising. But again, I think that if you're the Denver Nuggets, you know you're the defending champion, and that team that's a team where continuity worked, right? So you don't really worry about if Jamal Murray sits out the 3 weeks left in November, and you're not really worried about that too much if you're the Denver Nuggets. Your beard is top notch. I appreciate that, especially the red and blonde is about to stop not being as noticeable because in winter it gets darker because I don't get as much sun. So the red and blonde doesn't come out as much. So I'm about to be looking mad regular in this bitch. Bro, I got season tickets this year trying to flip and all the prices went to shit. That's funny. That's where you gotta you're taking a risk there, brother. You're taking a risk. Yo, Haize, who do you think would win in a twerk? Whoa, okay, wow, that's all right. I gotta put you in timeout, bro. You wilding. Do better. Do better. Gotta put you in timeout. That's wild, bro. I like Drummond, Zach, and DeMar on the floor, and Vooch off the bench with P. Will. No, that's just terrible spacing. Literally the worst. How long does it take you to? I could shave my beard off. I'm talking about baby butt smooth face, and I'd have this back at this level probably in about 3 weeks. Probably in about 3 weeks. If the Bulls win a championship this year, what would you do? God, if the Bulls win were to win title number 7 this year, I don't even know, bro. Like, I'd probably be batshit ass crazy. I tell you what, if the Bulls ever, and this is just ever, of course, over the course of this channel being the thing, if the Bulls are in a position, let's say that they're in the finals and they're up 3-2, you're not getting a post-game show. I'm in Chicago. At the game. If the Bulls have a clinching potential game, I'm there. I don't even care if it's not in Chicago. If the Bulls have the ability to clinch a championship, and it's not like tied, right? If it's 3-3, I may go to a game 7. But if the Bulls have like a 3-2 lead, that game 6, I'm there. I don't care if it's in Chicago. I don't care if it's in Cleveland. It would never be in Cleveland. I don't care if it's in Timbuktu. I don't give a damn. I'm in that bitch. You ain't got to worry about it. Haize, I hope the Bulls can overachieve and go 5-2. We need at least to get over 500. We need confidence. Well, you can build confidence without going over 500. If you go on a 4-3 stretch over the next 7, which you technically could be 5-3 since we won the last game, but if you could do that, that builds confidence, especially for how your season and how you win those games. I think is important. I get what you're saying. It definitely would build more confidence, but yeah. Rondo 2 Raw says, another night of explaining to myself why I allow this team to stress me out more than my actual hardships in life. Let's go. That is hilarious. That's funny. I'll do 4 lines of I don't know why dying is don't you want to see them do another one eventually? You want to die? Like, I don't know if that's the flex you think it is, bro. You want to die? Should the Bulls draft players who are NBA ready with high IQ or continue to draft on potential? Listen, I don't give a shit. Just get hit the right. I don't give a fuck at this point. The problem with the Bulls is that nobody has excelled to the point to where you see them as a future pillar of a team, a winning team. So just get it right. It could be potential. It could be more ready right now. I don't give a shit. It just get the right guy. Manuel says, greeting from Austria. Thank you for the great work. Well, thank you, my fam. And then also thank you for the super chat and supporting the channel, my brother. Ammo says, sup, Haize, what's going on? Ammo, I'm glad to be your favorite YouTuber. Listen, I ain't shit. I tell y'all that all the time. I'm crazy. That's just really what it boils down to. But y'all rock with me, though. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, too, by the way. Method Man Johnson. I wish y'all could experience the feeling we had with the first ship. We tore the city up. We need that feeling again. If we traded for Vanderbilt, he's the starting power forward, P. Will, for 6 man off the bench, and then we move him because he is not getting paid what he wants. Listen, P. Will ain't getting paid what he wants nowhere. Like not well, and this again too. Like even me and Kevin Anderson talked about it on the bonus episode we dropped yesterday. Like I don't believe those rumors that he was trying to get 200 million. Don't believe the hype on that one. I already read that one. How can you develop without playing? Well, the fact of the matter is a lot of them have played and haven't developed. Though I get what you're saying, right? But a lot of development is also, that's why you have a player development staff. But P. Will has played and he's taken a step back so far this season. Now he looks like he may be getting back on the right track, right? Kobe White's always played throughout the season. And yeah, he put it together last season, even though statistically it was a step back. But you still also have to earn, right? You can't just put players out there just to put them out there and say they're going to develop. You have to earn it. And so a player like Jimmy Butler didn't play in the rookie year. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you aren't going to develop, but you have to have the right staff that you trust is going to develop. And we haven't seen that from the Bulls yet. Now we only have had this new player development staff for 3 months, if even that. So it's going to take some time. And let's hope that does start coming along. Haize, I think a good showing by the Bulls today will go a long way towards my belief in this group and give the Bulls confidence we can compete with the best. That's from Gio. Listen, at the end of the day, we've seen it before, right? This Bulls team has beaten teams that are better than them at times. The problem, I don't think, like, you can't take too much from a one-off. The Bulls have to do this shit consistently. We got to see this consistently from the Chicago Bulls, and we just haven't yet. Have I heard the Lakers want Caruso? So I have 2 videos on that topic, one on Locked on Bulls and one on this channel. So yes, I've heard it. I've broke it all down already. I would kill to have a hierarchy like MIA, Riley Spoelstra, and a guy like Haslam keeping the locker room in check. I mean, listen, that's why I say when people are like, well, who's going to replace Billy Donovan? I don't want another name. I don't want Mark Jackson. I don't want Budenholzer. I don't want none of those guys. I want you to go out and find the next great head coach. That's what I want this team to do. RW Chi-Town says, bro, we as a fan base don't need to blame anyone for P. Will development when he has to put in the work himself. And that's the thing with P. Will. It really comes down to what's in between his ears. How do you feel about this game, Haize? Also, how many games do they need to win this home stretch? Why are you doing that, Sydney? I expect better from you. I answered that question already. Well, Tay Too Short, I got to disagree with you on this. He's 22 years old. Like, think back at what you were at 22 years old. Did you not improve on your job and your personal life? So I think it's way too early to write the story on any 22-year-old. Now, I will say this. The ceiling for P. Will has dropped every year that has gone by, but there's still absolutely potential, and we've seen it in games, right? We've seen it. So we just got to make it more consistent. So not loving the Lakers' proposal for Caruso. Oh yeah, it's a trash ass proposal. Like I said on the episode too, the only way that I see the Bulls taking what the rumored proposal is if they've already traded off Zach and DeMar and have gotten a ton of first round picks back for those guys. And then they get another young, what was Jalen Hood Safino drafted like 18th overall, something like that. But even then, I'm still not sure. Simba in the building says this is a dub tonight. Let's hope from your mouth to God's ears, my fam. Your mouth to God's ears. Is Zach playing up to par for the contract he signed? I mean, yes and no. I would say that it's the inconsistency with Zach. And like I said before, to me, it's not necessarily just about numbers for Zach. It's more so about how he steps up in the big games. And we haven't consistently seen that. I would say this: when you look at his contract, what is it like 22% of the salary cap? And you look at some of the other deals given out, I think that he's playing into that with where the NBA is going. Where the NBA is going. Now, if we're talking about 4 or 5 years ago, hell no. But where the NBA is going, Zach LaVine's $40 million a year is going to be like chump change soon. Like, keep in mind, we're getting dangerously close to 17, $18 million a year being what the mid-level exception is going to be in a year or two. So that is like, I think we have to start changing the way that we look at salaries in the NBA. Is Craig a sustainable starter? Absolutely. When you look at how he performs defensively, his shooting isn't always going to be consistent. He's going to have some games where he shoots really well. He's going to have some games where he doesn't. But I think that what you see from him is definitely something that on this team you can always take in the starting lineup. Damn, Haize, we might be family. Johnson's all out south, but I'm a west side. That's funny. That's hilarious. Who improved their game more overall, Kobe or Zach? If you look from where they started, Zach for sure. Zach became one of the most efficient and dangerous scorers in the league, right? So if you're talking about from rookie years to where they both are now, then yeah, it's been Zach, no question. Now if you're talking about just in like the last 2 years, then it's definitely Kobe, but Kobe had further to go than Zach. But overall, no, it's still Kobe. I mean, still Zach LaVine. In limited minutes, are you liking what Io's get? Absolutely. I love what Io's doing. And I think that Io's really found himself and found how he can impact the game and get himself in rhythm. And I think that that's big for a player like Io DeSumo. So I love what Io's giving us. And I think if he keeps playing like this, he's going to find himself getting more minutes sooner rather than later. Same starting lineup, guys: Kobe, Zach, DeMar, Torrey Craig, Nikola Vucevic. I didn't think there was any surprise there, just so you guys know. Hayes, do you think that we'll overpay for P. Will this summer? No, hell no. Not with the way he's playing right now. How do the Suns have this roster when the NBA wouldn't let Kobe have CP3 as a teammate? Well, keep in mind, like that's just such a unique set of circumstances that I think people forget too when they talk about it is that the NBA technically owned the Hornets at that time. So it wasn't like the NBA just stepped in and was like, hey, you can't make this trade. It was because the NBA was the owners of the Charlotte Hornets and they looked at it. The exact phrase that they gave, and it's understandable, was that they did not want to put the Hornets in a position of not having talent. Keep in mind, they had to sell that team so that the NBA didn't own that team anymore. So again, from the business aspect, I understand it, but it's still one of the biggest woulda, coulda, shouldas ever. And I still think the Nets, Houston, OKC, and maybe Boston can offer a better package for AC, but AC has to make sense for a team. OKC, I don't think AC makes sense for them, especially when they just signed Vasily Mishik. Houston, why the hell would you send, like, again, it has to make sense for both sides. Houston is in a fucking asshole right now, bro. Like, they are literally in Fat Oprah's ass. Like, it's AC ain't saving them. The Nets can make some sense. Boston can make a little bit of sense as well, but I don't think it's not like AC's contract is huge. AC has one of the best value contracts in the league at $9.5 million, but we'll end up seeing. Now, the Golden State, Philly, I can see that a little bit more for sure. How do you feel about Zach taking the backseat to DeMar? I'm starting too, that he is a good number 2. Zach doesn't take a backseat to DeMar. They're literally 1A and 1B. They both average the same amount of shots. So, no, when this team was at its best, they were 1A and 1B. They were at the same level. Man, the fact that if Garpax would have traded Jimmy a year earlier, we would have had no Zach still blows my mind. We literally had nothing from that trade if it went down. Keep in mind, and that's what people keep forgetting too. When we made that trade, Chris Dunn was the focus of that. They almost traded Jimmy Butler for Chris Dunn straight up the year before. The only reason that they didn't do that at that point in time was because of contract extensions, right? So like we would have almost traded Jimmy Butler for Chris Dunn straight up, and we would have been pissed, right? That's crazy. No, this is literally one of the stupidest things that people say. Play Drum and Vooch together. Unless you're trying to tank, that makes no sense for any type of offense at all. Literally, that is the worst combination of players you could possibly have out there. RW shot time. I mean, it's possible. We don't know where we're going to pick yet, right? So, I mean, that's easier to answer as far as do you think we can get a shooter in this draft and not another crazy project? It really comes down to where you're at, right? Where do you end up falling at? What's the talent around there? So that's a big part of it as well. Sir says, team anytime soon from? Yeah. November, in 2 days, the G League season starts. That's where he'll be. And I'll be doing the G League review. So you guys will be getting updates on that. AC has those good sticky hands, not easy to replace. First of all, Archangel, listen. You can't talk about a grown ass man and say good sticky hands. Because like at that point we're all thinking, what is he doing? What is happening? What's going down? Theo Walker says, Haize, what's good, family? I see you with the drip. Cold-blooded, keep shining, King. Let's get this dub. God bless. I appreciate that. Come on now. You get 2 things guaranteed here. Or 3 things guaranteed every single video that I drop. You're going to get great content. You're going to get amazing drip. And the beer game's going to be on point. That's it. If the Bulls are struggling to be a playing team, I'm all right with them trading DeMar and AC to contenders. I mean, and that may be where it's gonna go. That may be where it's gonna go, man. But all right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap up the stream. I will be back here at halftime, so make sure you guys stay tuned in for that. By the way, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 20K subscribers by the end of the season. It's a tall goal, but it's a goal that I think we can do, especially if the Bulls finally start winning some. So we'll see what that means. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this pregame show. I'll be back, like I said, at halftime. See red, go Bulls. Love you guys.